In this animation, we'll be seeing Connect Print Manager. Separate this in 3 small sections. The first one is the introduction to the print manager and where it comes from. Second one is printer management. And the third one is job management. Let's start with a small introduction to the print manager. Basically, the print manager is something that goes in between the output module and an IPDS printer. The reason for this is that IPDS printers are used to receiving a stream of data and printing while it is produced. Whereas Connect is not able to produce this stream. So what we do is we're actually sending an IPDS job directly to the print manager, which will then handle the stream to the printer in the background. Now let's talk about the printer management inside of the print manager. Now, the first thing we need to do, obviously, is to add a printer. So let's do that right now in the Add IPDS Printer section on the left. We'll just click on Add Printer. And in this dialog that's a little too big for my window, we have all the information that we need. So we'll type in a name for it. And we enter either a host name or the IP address for the printer, and then the port number. Now, of course, whoever manages the IPDS printer can give you the IP address and the port. The next thing we have here is hot folders. Now, you probably know the idea of hot folders. You just put in files inside of a specific folder, and this folder is used to automatically do stuff. We use that in the workflow, in PReS workflow, to capture. We have folder captures, and that is also the same principle as a hot folder. Now, in terms of IPDS printers, because IPDS are high-level, high-speed printers, they actually have 3 separate printer queues. And this is reflected in the hot folders because each hot folder would capture for a specific priority on the printer. So let me enable that. And I've selected 3 separate folders. Now, of course, if you're only doing medium and high printing from your hot folders, you don't need to enable all 3, but they will show up when I click on OK. Now, the logging option is something that you can use. As for the rest of the options, we won't look at them right now, but there is a PDF that you can download with that's kind of a user manual for the print manager. Later on, there will be proper documentation as you're used to. But needless to say, there's a lot of customization that you can do here. So let me finish this. Now we have a new IPDS printer. Now, one thing that you may need to do, IPDS printers have different capabilities or option sets, and they do have the capability of actually telling you or telling the print manager what they do support. So what we need to do basically is to go in Printer Capabilities, right-click on the printer, and click on the option. Now, once the capability list has been retrieved, you can expand the printer. And generally, this is what will be important to most users, what you have here inside of the general. But there's a lot of technical details in the other 2, the STM and the OPC. If you know about IPDS printers, then more technical details are available to you. As you can see by expanding the printer on the left in the printer list, I have the 3 hot folders, the IP address, and the port. Just basic information about this printer, where the hot folders point to and where the actual printer is. Now, of course, in order for this printer to work, we'll need to start. So we'll start the printer queue. And this is actually the print manager queue. So when it receives jobs, if it is paused or stopped, it will not send those jobs to the printer or process them. Once we start and the printer is in green, then we know it is ready to start. Last, on the printer management section, on the right, there are a couple of options. You can edit the printer, which brings the same window as the add, and you can change the configuration there for the hot folders and etc. You can, of course, delete the printer if it's no longer in use. You can pause and start the printer, add a new one. And there's 2 other options on the top, which I'll show you later in the job management section. Okay, so let's say you have your IPDS printer set up as we have here. and we need to start printing jobs and managing jobs. There's a couple of ways that you can do that. The first is obviously the hot folders. As soon as you put an IPDS print job or an IPDS file inside of one of these hot folders, automatically the printer will start processing this job. So if I go in the printer queue here, we have our printer here, and we can see that there's no jobs that have ever been printed to it or queued or started or finished. So the second way to add a job after the hot folder is to add it directly from here inside the printer queue. If you right click on the printer and you click on Add Job, it'll ask you to open an IPDS file. So automatically, if the printer is on, as soon as you add a print job, it actually starts processing right away. This one has 3 pages, it printed 3, and it's finished. It'll give you statistics on all of that. And by the way, you can take a look at the History tab. You more or less all of this information. And then when you have a lot of history, you can actually filter it. So if you type in, for example, with the printer or the job name, the path or whatever, then you'll have the ability to filter them. The job queue is actually a list of queues that are currently printing, and I can actually add a job from here too. And while I'm at it, when I click on open, it'll start printing. I'm going to click at the bottom right, which is actually the job status. That'll give you an idea of what's happening directly on the printer. So let me do that right now. Oh, actually, sorry, let me correct that. When you add a job to the job queue, it doesn't actually start printing right away on the printer. It's just adding it manually and then waiting for you to specify where it's going to go. How do you do that? Well, you can drag it directly onto a printer, or you can drag it directly into one of the hot folders to determine which priority it should have. So let me drag it into the high priority for the marketing printer. Now, if you actually want to print this, you need to drag it directly into the printer. So let me do that right now. I'll just add it to the marketing queue and then go and show you that status that I was mentioning before. So the progress view shows you what exactly is happening on the printer. And as soon as it's finished, so as you can see, it's pretty small jobs, it's done. So it'll show you that the job is being queued and then that the job is being printed on the actual printer. The last way that you have to add a job is to actually drag and drop it directly into either the printer or the job queue and then do the rest as before. And that starts printing directly. And of course, the hot folder as we mentioned before. So that's it for the Connect Print Manager. So as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing much to see other than the fact that it's basically a print queue manager for an IPDS printer. So thank you very much for watching these presentations, and we'll see you in the next version.